forgot, Casey, that Lori's not coming, so I guess we'll get started. 9 o'clock, inmate meals catering, possible action item. So, Jolie, we got sent to us in the mail, and I just received it yesterday. I gave Dwayne a copy, but I didn't.
Okay.
Thought I'd let you read this, 'cause
Sure. Oh, change it. Okay. All right. Thank you.
yeah.
Oh, she needs to-
And you guys, I guess, saw it?
I haven't read it, but
I
Oh,
didn't read
okay.
it.
So, and you're Brody?
Mhm.
You're the, so we got Brody here from the jail and Ronnie from
The
the
admin side.
dispatch. Admin side. So, anyway, we got it on the action, who wanted us to make a decision today? Was that you or the jail?
Well, last time we were here,
Yeah,
Under Sheriff Boone said, take a week or two to
Mhm.
figure it out and then decide. And so then that's all.
yeah.
It was just because it was stated last
Mhm.
week.
Well, like I said, I'd like to keep business in the county, but I'm a little worried when, I don't know what to think, because I'm not back there every day. So I don't,
Mhm.
like, for instance, yesterday, do you know who served up the lunch, or?
No, I
Oh,
didn't,
okay.
I don't know anything about yesterday. Was
Good.
something happened yesterday?
Yes.
yeah, they sent over a meal that I guess the lady said she added cream of tartar rather than shortening or something to thicken it up. And the inmates all were like, I'm not eating this, it's rotten. So they refused their lunch,
Okay.
which their lunch was
Is their name?
the soup,
Right.
or whatever you want to call it, casserole,
Mhm.
a roll, and one cookie with a glass of milk. I mean, I have pictures of it.
Right.
I have pictures of dinner last night. Dinner was a soup, a split pea soup
Right.
Mhm.
with, I mean, very, very thin slices of onion and carrot.
Mm.
Nothing else. I mean, you probably couldn't survive off that. You couldn't survive off that.
There
My
should
daughter
have been more
couldn't
for
survive
the
that.
soup, for the dinner.
Yeah, and we had one sandwich.
Oh, so
I
you
have
had a
pictures.
sandwich, okay.
I have pictures. We have one sandwich,
You have a
one
sandwich?
slice of cheese,
Yes.
4 slices of cold cut meat,
Yes.
2 pieces of carrot,
Yes.
1 apple.
Yes. Food and
And
juice for 971
a milk.
calories.
But the thing is,
And they're supposed to have juice too.
Okay.
I gave the new menu to everybody. They're
I
supposed to
understand
have juice
that.
at dinner.
I understand. But when you look at that, you tell me where I can put juice. Okay. Juice
Well-
does not make up that much calories. They need food. They don't need drink. They need food.
Well, it's a Gatorade electrolyte juice that
I
gives them
understand
all
that.
their
I understand
stuff.
that. But
so.
do you live off Gatorade? Are you happy
I
when
do
you
in
when
some
you eat
Okay,
this much?
I'm not gonna argue with you.
I'm not gonna argue either.
On this stuff. They have 200.
The other thing,
They have
too-
2,498
Okay,
calories on an average day.
Okay.
And the meals that you guys are looking at are not even close to that.
Okay.
So if they're
So-
worried about the calorie count thing.
The other thing is,
I mean, it's not even close.
the
so
other thing is,
that's
it's
what-
not even necessarily about the calorie count. My biggest thing is,
Can I see
this is
that
a safety
picture
concern.
for
Safety concern.
What's the safety?
Yesterday, I had to do 3 loads of dishes before dinner. So, I mean, I was back there for hour and a half, 2 hours doing dishes, so the inmates were completely unsupervised.
So this is their dinner. They're missing their juice, and just so you know, the dinner is not the highest calorie meal of the day.
They also aren't supposed to get 3 slices
The-
of bread. I give it to them because that's what we have extra.
Right, and I'm, yeah.
So I give them anything extra. We didn't have enough cheese to go around. We had 1 slice of cheese for everyone.
Right, and that's what they're supposed to have. That
Okay.
makes 3 ounces
So-
of meat. I mean, that's a dietary,
Like I said, it's
Hey.
not even necessarily about the calorie count.
well, you guys need a nutrition list. If you guys are gonna say all this
Okay.
stuff, you need to back it up with nutritional
Number
value.
one, please stop interrupting me. Okay? My biggest thing is safety.
Yes.
They shouldn't have plastic spoons. I mean, they're not even really plastic. They're like a hard plastic that we've actually had inmates sharpen and make shanks out of. And for my guys to sit in the back and do dishes all day, you do 3 meals a day. Sometimes when you have to call and get an extra order, you have to do an extra load of dishes. So you're back in that kitchen all day. That's
So what are you suggesting they eat with instead of the?
in the meals. They have plastic forks, not like that kind of plastic, like plastic like break easy. They can't. I mean, if they sharpen them, they're not gonna. They're gonna break before they actually stab you.
I have a question. Who's your dietitian?
She's out of Missoula. We used to have somebody out of Plains. I can get you that information, but then she left, and so we have her out of Missoula. And then we also talked to the dietitian at the hospital when we had all the diabetic things, and we sat down and reworked the menu and everything for all the diabetic meals and stuff. So I have a question. Why can't you just buy plastic spoons then, like they're gonna give you in your thing?
Because it's part of the proposed budget. This isn't, that would have to be an extra cost. So I don't know, I'm not up to date on all the budget and everything, but to me, it's a safety concern. I'm not gonna sit back there and do dishes all day when I have inmates that need things, and we had an incident the other day where I've had to leave prepping dinner or prepping lunch to go and possibly save an inmate's life.
So I don't understand the correlation between the lunches and why are you having to do dishes? What is that? what-
Yesterday was a bad example of a day where the food that was brought in was not good, so you can't add the food, new food to that food, so you have to do a whole new tray.
Oh, I see.
So you're doubling up on your dishes when you have food that comes in that's not good.
Oh, okay.
And it was cream of tartar, not cornstarch evidently.
Cornstarch, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what.
And then they replaced it with something,
Yeah.
right?
They
So
did.
that's why
So
there's this
anytime
pink
there's
hue.
issues,
So then
there's
that's
been
extra
replacements.
time though,
Yes,
where
of course,
I have to prep the new meal, or I have to do the dishes from the new meal.
right.
So,
So that's why there's a pink hue to this, is because of the tartar?
I'm not sure.
The pink.
I don't know if it's the ink on the cartridge, but
no,
See
that's
what it
that's
is.
exactly how it looked,
It looked
that pink.
pink, and so everybody thought it looked kind of strange.
And I had
No,
inmates
cream
taste
tartar
it.
is clear, so,
Mm.
I had inmates taste it, and they said, no, this is rotten, I'm not eating it.
right, cream of tartar wouldn't be, it would be a sour taste
Yeah.
to it, because that's what's
Mm.
in your
So,
cookies and stuff. Okay?
I mean, we have a new,
It looks like
Um,
the tomatoes made it the pink hue.
the new
Mm.
detention officer we have is from a bigger jail in California. She came here, and she was like, this is a huge safety risk. Back there, they do the prison system that we've proposed. I mean, it's safer, there's no dishes, there's almost no cleanup. The only cleanup you need is garbage.
And your glasses for your milk and,
There's juice packs in them.
right, but they have to have milk,
Well,
so.
there's almost no cleanup. Okay, then you also go back, how much money do we waste on water when we stand back there and do dishes? I've had to stand back there and do hand wash dishes. Because the dishwasher was full and there's so many other dishes that we have to do. So how much money does it cost for us to stand there and waste water? How much money does it cost for us to waste electricity to run the dishwasher, to run the stove, to run those kind of things, when everything is in that proposal as to what it's gonna cost?
are
you're gonna be running the stove regardless.
Yes.
The cart is actually a self-heating cart. You put everything in, all the meals in, and it heats everything.
Right, you'll still have to run it though. So it's the same.
Yeah, we still have electricity costs, but not as much. And then, when you have a dishwasher go down, all of our equipment back there is really, really old. Our stove is getting ready to go out. Our dishwasher is brand new, but it's ready to go out because it's so used. Our fridge is ready to go out. Our microwave is older than probably any of you. I mean, it's old.
What are you saying?
It's pretty old. That's what I'm saying. But
Now you're getting
like I said,
personal.
it's not even necessarily the calorie count that I'm upset with. It's the safety, because I'm not going to stand back there and do dishes when an inmate's possibly losing his life or her life.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't stand there and do dishes if that was going on by any means.
But how am I supposed to hear anything if she's on a 911 call trying to help the guys and she can't sit there and watch the inmates? And we can't afford to hire somebody else to get 2 officers on every shift. So how are the inmates being watched? And I'm all the way in the back where I can't hear anything. I can't hear everything in the jail from the kitchen.
Jolie,
Yeah.
how many slices of bread do you normally bring in? I mean, you said you added some, how much
Right.
would?
And that's part of the problem too, is when I talked to you last time about
Mhm.
portioning, they're giving extra food, which is not in the budget for
Mhm.
that. And so we've been having issues with, they're always calling and saying we don't have enough bread. And we're like, well, we counted, you have enough bread. And so then we're wondering, what that is, because it all costs something. And we're following the calorie count and the nutritionalist and everything. And, it is a hard concept for the dinners not to be the higher contract than the lunch, because how we eat, it's, our dinner is our biggest thing. But that is, if you go to any nutritional or doctor, they will say that is the worst thing you could ever do to your body, especially on a sedentary diet, because they don't have a lot of exercise. They're limited on that. You want your bigger calorie count meal to be in the middle of the day, so you can digest it and everything before the whatever. So really, the lunch is the dinner.
Mhm.
And so they get a sandwich, and they get 3 ounces to 4 ounces, because you throw this cheese on there, so it's another ounce, and they get 2 pieces of bread for their sandwich.
Mhm.
And they get a cup and a half of soup, and they get a fruit and veggie sticks and milk, and they're supposed to be having juice. And
Julie, you said they get a cup and a half of soup?
yes,
We don't always see that.
that's your bowl of soup, that's all that you can.
I understand.
Right.
But if you have the scoop and you're scooping it out a cup and a half,
Right.
a lot of times they were only getting a half a cup of soup.
That
Still.
might have been before.
No, they're still getting it.
Okay, well, they're supposed to be getting a cup and a half of soup,
Mhm.
and I've been counting it out, but you have some other specialty people, like, that you have, doesn't get soup, and you have, the vegetarian might not get the soup, they'll get the salad, and you have a lactose-free person that might not get the soup, they'll get something else, and stuff like that. So I don't know, and I've been trying to meet and have a conversation about portioning and work out some issues, but we still haven't
So-
had a chance to meet on everything like that. So I hear a lot of complaints that don't have anything to do with really the food basic stuff, and I agree they are understaffed, and I understand the issue 100%. I do. And I know we talked about this last week about, the idea of a trustee again. Before, when there was a trustee, a lot of these issues went away. And I know Under Sheriff Boone had said, well, I don't see the difference because you have to have somebody there watching the trustee. But the thing is it's really, really mental also, that you're taking all your time and you're preparing all this food, and then all you get is complaints and thrown back at you when you're just like, okay, I just served everybody, I'm doing the dishes, I'm doing all this stuff. And he's like, well, I don't see the difference between somebody standing there and watching them or actually physically doing it themselves. And I think mentally it's a really big difference. And I was wondering, did you get a full budget on the full meals, or do you still have just that one entree portion? Because like I stated before, that's not a full meal. And so you have to add your milk, your juice, your fruit, your vegetables to that, because that meal is only going to be 500 to 600 calories, because when I called the same company, that's what they were. And so you have to get up to 1,000 to 900 calories to make your whole calorie count for the day. So you're gonna have to add a whole bunch of stuff, so that cost is going to be increased by what I said earlier, about $1 to $1.50, depending on what you're putting on there. And you'll have to order extra, your breads, and, you know, keep all that stuff in stock. So you'll need storage and everything. My other thing with that is, I understand they're limited on time. I'm proposing to you that having them pre-done is either the same amount of time or increases, because you need somebody to put them in the oven, get them out, figure out the count. You have 60 plus special diets every single month. I counted that up to you and gave you that average. And so whoever's doing that needs to be nutritionally in mind to know, okay, this is the gluten-free, this is the lactose-free, this is the gluten-free and lactose-free. What does that mean? This is the diabetic, this is the hyper-diabetic. What does that mean? Oh, they can't have this noodle, but they can have that noodle. So that's going to take some time, and then you put it all in the oven, I get it, and you walk away, you know, and so it keeps it warm. And I get that too, that's very convenient. So I think, plus somebody has to order all that, somebody has to be on staff. So they will have to go to classes to figure out what they need for each one, which is totally fine, it's doable. But, you know, I think you're going to add labor with this, even though it sounds all rosy and great, because it's not a complete meal. It's just an entree tray. You have to add your stuff. And if he's going to talk about cost of stove and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to suggest to you that your garbage disposal service will increase, because you'll have a lot more garbage. Awesome. So, and I agree, there's some things that we can fix, and every time there's a problem, we try to fix it right away and get replacements and stuff. That was obviously a mistake, and hadn't even known it until somebody tasted it and said what was going on, and then they went back and looked and figured it out. But like I said, we can have meetings, we can talk, we can figure this out. It's really up to you guys. I just don't want you to be blindsided with a quote that's not true. I want you to see all your costs and then decide on what you're doing.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Do you guys taste the food before you bring it over?
we do while we're putting it in the
When it's
in the
finally-
oven.
When it's done?
When
do you
it's
taste
finally,
it?
obviously not, or she would have tasted, she would have figured that one out.
Right.
But,
And that's probably
you know.
something that, you know, if this continues on, that's something they're gonna need to do. That's called
Yes.
quality control. And if it comes out tasting like crap and you wouldn't eat it,
No,
it's
totally,
not
one
something
hundred
that shouldn't
percent.
be coming to the
No,
jail.
we're not trying to, I mean, it's not like we're sending garbage over here at all, so.
Sometimes they feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you exactly how they feel. There's a lot of times that, you know, because we listen, we try to watch as best we can, but when we get busy, of course you can't. And they're like, this tastes like shit. Sorry for the swear, but they do. You know, there's times that and then you have the select people that there's no pleasing, and we
Of
all
course.
understand that.
Of course, there's a
But-
lot of those.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, so
That's why-
these are all things that we can hammer out in meetings and working together and all that kind of stuff. I mean, like I said last meeting, every time I meet, I find out something new and different that, you know, like, okay, didn't realize you didn't have a place for juice, but, you know, could the juice be handed separately or something? I don't know. It has a lot of nutritional value. I mean, that's what you give to the diabetics at midnight and stuff. You're supposed to be giving them the juice or the peanut butter or something to get their, you know, counts up. And so that was one of the best things to offer and everything, so.
it might be
I don't know.
something that, like I said, if everything continues on the way it is, to have the jail staff, you and your dietitian all meet together so everybody's on the same page.
Right, and I don't know if I can get the dietitian to meet. I send her the menu and she okays it and stuff. It's just not something she's on house, but we could get the one from the hospital to meet, would be totally fine.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, because we are
What-
having some issues with what we eat as normal, you know,
Everyday
people,
citizen.
that is over what anybody should eat, because we're, you know, as a
So then,
nation obese.
Yeah.
And so then your perception of what's actually portioned correctly is skewed a lot of times.
Are there any condiment, like mayo or anything that included with the, like?
Not with that, but they get, for hamburgers and fries, they get their ketchup.
Uh-huh.
And then there's some mustard for hamburgers and corn dogs that they have just there. But not the mayo. If we took the mayo off per the nutritional.
I was just thinking that, I
thing,
mean,
but yes.
I would eat
I would eat
the
it for a
sandwich, but
sandwich.
it's dry.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they could have anything on there,
Oh.
mustard or something to make the sandwich a little more enticing. A condiment might improve that.
Yep,
And that condiment might add calories.
yes, it adds like 20 calories, yeah. But
so the other thing is, okay, so
but
we
we're
give
way
them,
over our
we give them
calorie
that.
count, just so you know.
We give them that,
So.
okay, which the prepared meals are way over that calorie count. So,
Could you
anyway,
look on your sheet
anyway,
before you say that, I'm
we-
sorry, but because it's not
we
true.
give them that,
That,
And you-
that what?
that meal, okay, those meals, whatever. And I got people back there that are losing weight, just sitting. I mean, I have a guy that's lost 15 pounds
Mm-hmm.
since he's been here.
Right.
I think
And
some of that comes
how
from
is
his
this-
lifestyle when he
right.
walked through the door.
He's
Right.
not a big guy.
But I
He's
said,
very
you
scrawny.
think some of that
Oh.
comes with his lifestyle from when he walked through the
Well, what I'm saying is people with the higher metabolism, I have probably every inmate in there has lost at least 5 pounds. And when I give them those meals, they all get pissed. So then, again, it's another safety issue. We're a medium security jail. And when we have one person on staff and you give your food out and every inmate's pissed and you're supposed to go in and do cell checks and pod checks, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to put my life in danger to go in that cell and check.
What are so the bigger meal you're talking about, what do they look like? I mean.
It would have been one of the ones that we messed up on and stuff. So a bigger meal is, it could be anywhere from hamburgers, fries, dessert, milk, or the casseroles, like the hamburger mac casseroles with the veggies and the roll and the dessert and the milk. Or the riblets, I brought riblets last time because that's what they were having that day, was the pork and barbecue riblet with fries, veggie roll, cereal, milk, yeah. So, and like I said before, like the casseroles and the stews and stuff are based off our soups and everything. So, you know, it's what we sell in the restaurant. I mean, we're not, like I said, that was a total mistake, not intentional at all. That the tartar, cream of tartar went in and not the cornstarch, they're probably right next to each other. But, I mean, it's not intentional, so.
We didn't say it was intentional.
No,
We
I-
understand that. You know, crap happens.
And like I said, when there's issues, we try to fix them right away.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. Things happen.
When I first went to work, we had the old, did you ever work in the old jail, Ronnie?
That's
Dispatch?
where I started.
Okay. So, we had good old Neva Cummings, she had to cook and everything. She had to answer the radio and then go cook for the inmates. And she was a hell of a cook. And I remember one guy that, I don't know how long he was in jail, he washed my car and stuff. He'd come out and wash my car. But he was complaining that he gained weight because Neva cooked so much good meat and potatoes that he got fat.
Gonna sue us for
Yeah,
that.
I gotta sue us
Yeah.
for being too overweight. But he didn't because he loved your cooking. But,
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of a catch-22. You don't want him to
It is.
not be full, but you don't want them to get fat, because then there's another problem there. You're just giving us Cheetos and crap, and now I gained 10 pounds in this jail. Like I said, hard to make everybody happy.
And on the stove part, that sucker's been here since the day one, just so you know.
The
That's-
microwave or the stove
The
oven?
stove itself,
The range?
yep, that's been here since
Say
day
all
one.
three of them.
No,
Oh, that's a new fridge too.
no. I
Not
don't-
new, but
I don't think the fridge is new, I think it might be the same age as the stove, because I don't recall replacing the refrigerator yet. I don't remember, it's been too long ago.
I know that deal.
I remember going up and getting the meals from the hospital.
Mhm.
and they got fed twice a day. And of course, now with the ACLU, you can't do that. You have to feed them 3 times a day. They're looking for, of course, a little easier to make it on the officers for the meal things. I understand yours as well.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
and
just
I
don't know where we
understand
go
the
first.
ease. I just strongly, and it's really, I have to tell you, the jail contract is not fun
Yeah.
at all. So, and I know that, you know, there's considerations. I think it's gonna cost you more than, there's a lot of hidden costs in there. And I think it's going to take a lot more time, and it's not gonna be as easy as you guys perceive either. And if you just sit, because I prepare the food, so I know what happens, and I order the food, you know, I just think if you even took a week and tried to figure out, and actually figured out what you would need, especially with, right now, I don't have the special meals, but your special meals, and try to figure out what you would need to have and how you would order. And I mean, I think you would be surprised how much time that's going to be for you. It's going to be a lot of time. And if you just
Take a week and
did
think
it,
about and sit down and make it
and,
if you're gonna do it.
and figured out, you know, when would you get your orders? How much space are you gonna need for frozen items? Because you're gonna have to order twice a week. If it's Cisco, it's once a week, which I think Cisco is delivery one. Once a week in the wintertime is Cisco. So you're going to have to plan ahead, and you're gonna have to have extra, which is fine, because you can always use them sometime else, but you're not gonna have the same thing for every inmate also, just so you know, because you're going to be short, because you don't know how many people you have and how many people are coming. So you're gonna have, you know, 15 people are gonna get the hamburger that day, and 6 are gonna get something else, because you're not gonna have enough, but you can feed them, that's fine. But you need to really sit down and go, this is how many. You know, the oven thing is a no-brainer. You probably need 1, maybe 2, just because if you had 23, I don't know how many fit, but probably just 1. But the freezer space, you'll need more of that. You'll need space for your fresh fruits and some vegetables. Some of those have vegetables, but not all. So you would have to go through and go, okay, this entree for $1.45 has this, but it doesn't have the fresh fruit, the fresh roll, the something. And this one does have the vegetable, but this one does not. I just don't think, you know, I just wish you'd sit down and really, really do it and just see what you're getting into, because, like I said, I just don't think you're gonna be happy. And call them. They might have gotten their thing figured out. I called them 3 weeks ago to try to, because I was going to do apples with apples. I brought in the food that we were serving that day, and I was going to get them to have a sample of what they would be serving and stuff. And they had an outbreak of something in their water, and they had to destroy all their food and everything, which, again, I'm sure the company's very reputable. They caught it in time, and that's all great, and they had somebody else service their account, so everything was fine. But they didn't have any extra to send me, or whatever, and see what you're getting and stuff. I mean, just do some research, real strong, deep research, and then come back and then lay it all out there. That's all I ask, really, because I would hate this county to get in a big, huge issue over something that sounds good on paper, but there's a lot more to it than that.
Okay. We can do that. I'll talk to Bruce.
Okay.
So yesterday's lunch, what company is this soup that you turned back? What else was on
I
there?
don't know what week
It
we're on,
was
so I
one
can't
roll.
tell you.
1 cookie and a glass of milk.
It should have been, yes, a roll, because the vegetables are inside of it, juice. No, that's the
main
meal.
That's the main meal.
Yeah.
Okay,
Lunchtime.
so it should have been the roll, dessert, and milk, yes, because there's half a cup of veggies in there for each inmate. There's 3 ounces of meat, and there's 3 ounces of starch, and then there's the sauce. So, yeah,
So a bowl of soup, this soup, a roll, and a dessert.
and milk, yeah. It's like 1,022 calories.
I mean, and like going along with what you said, that the lunch is typically the larger meal of the day. And
Yes.
maybe like you said, with all the stuff in the soup, it equals the calories, but it doesn't seem like much to me when you just say
Right.
a bowl of soup, a roll, and I don't know, what was it, a brownie or
Yes,
something?
I agree. It's either Jello or cake or
Yeah.
cookies, depends on what, I mean, we make up a whole bunch of variety things, so it's just whatever it is that day.
So making it a thicker chowder satisfied the larger caloric intake.
Yeah,
Although it would look probably less than this, which was the lighter than the lunch.
probably. Yes. Yes.
Well, on days when it is soup like that, is there anything we can do to jazz it up so it doesn't appear to be minuscule in their mind? I don't know what you can throw on there and make it look.
I don't know
Large.
either. You know, I had talked to Under Sheriff Boone about talking to, if I got it and we were carrying on going forward, of talking to the Spokane Produce and have them come through. And then that would give more variety on the fruits and vegetables, because it would be, you know, a bulk item. And so maybe 1 week they would get cantaloupe for 5 days or something, and then, you know, something to, you know, rotate some things in. So that would probably help with some of the soup items, because there would probably be different vegetables and stuff like that, so, yeah.
What we're not looking at, Roman, is you don't have that TV dinner sitting there right beside
Yeah.
that meal.
And then,
Oh, no,
I'm
I
So,
sorry,
I mean,
but when you do that research on the prices and.
I know
I was
what-
just saying,
I know what it looks
but
like.
if
The
I
calorie
got
count too,
soup
because
at
you're gonna
lunchtime
have to add
and then soup at dinner time, it would seem like,
and see what that
it
comes.
would seem like I'm getting
Okay,
just
thank
soup
you.
and bread, like
Yep.
the old prison days. It might be nice to
Yep.
have a hamburger and then soup, or
Sure.
a casserole and then soup, but not a soup for lunch and soup for
Jolie, how
dinner.
many days a week are they getting the casseroles?
1, 2, 3. 3 days a week on week 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 on week 2. 1, 2, 3 on week 3. So in between the casseroles, they get the hamburgers, the pork fritters, and the riblets and stuff like that. But, you know, and we could take one of those away and stick something else in there.
So you would be
It
open to
just-
that, to give them like a different
Yeah.
variety than just.
Yeah, I would
I don't
just
know.
have to send it to the
I like
nutritionals
casseroles,
with all
but
that
I
kind of stuff.
mean, I make my own casseroles, but,
Mhm.
some people are not casserole people, and I get it. And I know that they're reasonably cheap to make, understand that too.
Mhm.
But
And
I'm
they're-
wondering if maybe a little bit more variety
And they're
instead
kind
of
of,
just.
they kind of break even. It's just, it's not really the cost on the casserole, it's more of the time savings for us, because it's in the oven cooking for an hour, and we're not, you know, 30 minutes beforehand when it's busy time of the kitchen for lunch,
Right.
trying to,
But
you
if
know,
that's the
cook,
case, it's sometimes,
cook 25 or, you know, whatever, to try to get it out in time for you
Right.
guys to have it and everything like that. But yes, we could, you know, definitely, I would pick one of the fritters or something like that to figure that out. That wouldn't be an issue
okay.
at all.
Okay.
So really, it costs about the same. So,
Research those, do the calorie count on those, before we decide one way or the other.
So like I said, my main concern is not the calorie count. Obviously, you guys know, we've said it before, not everybody's gonna be happy. I'm not saying that we need to just make these guys happy. My biggest thing is safety. Okay, I'm not gonna sit back there and prep dinner. So if we can work something out where it's already prepped, or something like that, to where we can just give it to them.
But it would still
That-
require prep on
you're
your
still
half.
gonna have to prep the
Well,
same
I
amount of
understand
time to get
there's
it
some
started.
prep, I
Yeah, there's
understand.
still gonna be
But
a
it's the same
safety
amount of
issue.
time, really.
When you're,
So-
whether you're doing the dishes and not hearing the jail people, or whether you're unwrapping the frozen packages and not hearing the jail people. We'll always have that issue in Mineral County, because like you said, we don't
Or
have.
small department.
Right.
Yeah, we
I'll
would
talk
just be
to-
interchanging.
I'll talk to Boone and see where to go from here.
I
Can maybe
never
put on-
did see any more on the real price of that meal, did you?
on
And that's
the
what they're gonna
which
work
meal.
on,
Yeah,
because that's just
We're
an
gonna-
entree, it's not the added everything, so.
we'll see if we can get like a breakfast tray, a dinner tray, and the 3-meal tray of each, one of each or a couple of each, so we know exactly what it is we're getting for the money.
Mhm.
and what the calorie count is for those.
Right.
The oven itself is, you plug it in, you throw the stuff in. This
Right.
is my understanding of it,
Exactly.
I haven't actually seen it. But you put everything in it, you can let it do its thing, walk away,
Right.
do your
Yes.
thing, and then when it's time to feed them, you pull the whole thing,
Mm.
unplug, and go and hand out as you. And they're
Yes.
nice and piping
Mhm.
hot when they get them.
Yes.
If something's going on in the jail, is your food going to be okay if it gets thrown in the oven? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because sometimes stuff gets dried out.
Mhm.
And if there's an incident going on in the jail,
Right.
well, you know, there's been
Mhm.
times that we don't know that they've actually shown up at the door either. And that, some of your guys don't call us. If we don't hear that buzzer,
Mhm.
they don't call us and let us know that they're there, or have, you know, if they go back
Right.
over, they don't call and tell us, hey, we left the food out there, just so you know.
Oh, I didn't know they were leaving the food.
Yeah, they're leaving it right outside the door.
They,
Sorry.
for a
Maybe they
while
could
there,
call.
they
Yeah.
would come 3 times and push the buzzer. Usually we just push the buzzer and then we're
Walk
let
away.
in.
Right.
Yeah. And
But if
I
we
had a
get-
couple people come back 3 times to do that, but I didn't know they were leaving the
Yeah.
food.
Maybe-
And if we
maybe
don't
what they
know
should
that
do
that
is
buzzer-
They can't
Push,
do that.
push the buzzer, let you open the door, and they should push it inside, then they know that.
Right. And that's what usually happens, but,
Yeah,
but
usually-
lately we've been pushing the button
And then
and nobody's been answering.
Right.
Whether there's something going on in the jail
Oh.
or.
Yeah, if there's something going on,
A couple
when you
years
push
ago-
that
Oh.
button, it
Right.
goes off once. If they keep
Mhm.
pushing it, we're not gonna hear it.
Right.
If
You only hear
we're
it to one side.
concentrating on something else,
Right.
we're not seeing that light flash.
Right.
So,
Right.
and that's hence why we need
Right.
that big
And
I was
maintenance job
going
done
to-
in the jail,
Yeah.
because there's so many of those buzzers that are not working properly,
Right.
just so you know.
And I was gonna ask you guys if you were having a problem, because last year they were having a problem with the buzzer. They
Yep.
didn't know at all.
Exactly.
Because I've had some people say,
Yeah.
I
If
went
they-
back
if
3
as soon as they
times
come-
before they
You know,
answered.
they
and
come
I'm like,
back
well,
to you
something
and
must
say,
have
hey,
happened.
just give us a call so we know it's there,
Yes.
and that doesn't sit outside
Oh,
forever.
yes, of course.
What did you say about the big job, Ron?
Joel's got a proposal for having the jail maintenance, all the doors, the buzzers, everything in there, the locks. It has not had a maintenance done since we opened, not by a certified person.
Mhm.
And that's why he's put in for that. So we could get everything maintenanced and back up to par where it needs to be, because there's a few buzzers that do not work, number one. The doors sometimes will open, sometimes they won't. You have to actually, hey, that door's not opening, and he's physically having to jerk the door to get it to open. And then, like with the buzzers and stuff, in that little intercom doodad thing outside the Sally Port door, you know the one I'm talking about. That one occasionally will take a fritz and you won't hear it. The buzzer, once you push it, it only rings once.
So you can sit there and push
You can
again
push it
like
as
a
many
doorbell.
times as you want, but if they didn't see it inside or hear it and something else is going on in the jail, I'm not gonna pay attention to those doors when I've got stuff going on in the back with with my officers and dealing with an inmate. So we won't hear that buzzer. We're focusing and making sure our guys are okay. So we won't hear that, and that's something, at meal times. And I know that sometimes the cart's not out there, and we're working on to get that better.
Right.
And then they just bring the cart over, and they just leave it and off they go, and then we push it back out when we're
Right.
done. So that way,
Right.
we're trying to work that out.
That works smoothly, yes.
Yeah, but I'll get with Boone on the researching the calorie counts on the TV dinner things, what is actually in them, if they can even take care of some of our special needs people.
I know they have the gluten-free and the lactose and a diabetic, but I'm not sure if they have the combinations of your gluten-free, diabetic, you know what I mean? They have, if somebody's just gluten-free, they have that. If
Yeah.
somebody's just diabetic, they
They
have
have
that. But you have a lot of combinations, so I don't know about that
I
for
think
sure.
they're, in this day
And
and
those
age, they
those
have
cost
to.
more, so you
Yep.
would have to up that
Yep.
price, so.
Okay. I think they took that into consideration when they did up the proposal originally, and the oven and the freezer
And I
unit
didn't
in that
see the
original proposal.
I just know that when we talked with Under Sheriff Boone, because I had went to the same company by a fluke, I was just like, okay, let's see what's out there. I want to know what's going on and stuff. And so I called the one that was close by, and it happened to be the same one, and got all that information. But delving because I know what to look for since I do the menus and stuff. I was like, okay, noticing, well, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have this. You have to order this separately, and you would have to know what
to bring in and what not to bring in.
And so then I didn't know if that was, Undersheriff Boone didn't think that was in the proposal, but when it was $1.40 a meal or something, that stuff was not in there. It was just the entree of the thing. So
Okay. We'll look back into that.
Well, then, yeah, and then continue to communicate. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we'll put this decision on hold for a while and see if we can get some bugs worked out of it before we,
that would be great.
Okay.
but yeah.
And like I said, I mean, just as long as everybody has the complete information, I'm
Mhm.
Yeah.
100% good with whatever. So
Okay.
And then, yeah, continue to communicate, call right away if it's pink instead of white, or if it's tartar instead
Oh,
of
yeah,
corn.
yeah, and then the
Because
gal
Joli
that
probably
brought the
can't
food back,
control-
brought it over the extra meal, I was listening
Yeah.
to, and she said, I am so sorry. And, I mean, she apologized.
And some of this might be alleviated, Jolene, just like she said, maybe variety, a change up. I mean, instead of 2 soups in
Yeah.
one day, a variety so that it doesn't appear.
Or on
Right.
the days that you're doing a
And the-
casserole, don't do a soup.
right, or the casserole. Yeah, that's a point too. And the casserole days, I could pull the vegetables out, and so it, it's the same thing, but it looks like it's bigger
Bigger.
because it's just not a whatever and stuff. I could just have the starch and the beef and a sauce with the casserole thing, and then the veggies
Yeah.
could be pulled out.
Because some
It's not a
people are
problem.
weird, they don't like
Put your cream
veggies, and then they
tartar
won't eat the
somewhere
whole
else other than
casserole.
with more
Yeah, I don't
syrup.
even know why we have cream of tartar actually in there, but yes, for sure. I'll find out who was helping yesterday. I don't know how that worked, but for sure, 100%.
And we do realize that crap happens, We just kind of want to make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck and, making it most
Right.
effective for
Well,
everybody.
yeah, we gotta make the inmates feel
And make it easier
satisfied.
for our
and
detention
appease them.
Right.
Because it does make it a little
Right.
hard when there's just one of them.
And, I understand the complaints, and I'm not trying to belittle them at all, but, as far as I'm aware, even, when the letters have gone to the ACLU or whatever, and they've come and checked, I haven't been told anything that we were lacking in anything for the food whatsoever. And, in the last, I don't know, since we've had the jail, I have not. And I know there's complaints because they have all the time in the world to write letters and stuff, and so I don't know how many times it's been visited on the food, but, there hasn't been anything from them. And you're gonna get complaints no matter what. I'm thinking when Under Sheriff Boone had said that some of the prisons or whatever that's using the service don't get the ACLU as much, or not at all, or whatever. It's not because, I don't think, might be stepping outside, that they're not complaining and writing, because that's what else do they have all day, really, is to complain and write. But when they find out there's a, CI Foods or whatever it is, they just assume that everything's kosher with the nutrition and everything like that. They probably don't come check. But when they hear it's a local restaurant, I think they do go, okay, it's worth checking out. But, we've had it for 7 years, 5 years, 7 years, and we have not had any whatevers every time they've checked. So I just wanted to say that, whatever that means. So. Even though I know it's a pain when they come, because they don't just check food, they check everything else too, because they're here. And so I understand that 100%, and of course it would not be fun. I wouldn't want that at all, but,
No.
so. Okay,
All right.
All right.
Anything else?
Thanks, everybody, for your input.
thank you.
So we had an opening for a health director since Peggy Stevens retired, and we had an applicant, and we just had one applicant in-house, right? And she seems to be qualified and ready to take the job, and so we have Jen Donovan to appoint as health director.
All right. Well, I think Jen will be a good appointment.
Mhm. And with that promotion, if you will, there's little bit of an increase to her wage. I think the proposal is $28 an hour. Paid for by her new position and grants, and it is gonna be effective July 1. So I guess the motion can entail the person and the promotion and the increase.
All right, well, I make a motion that we appoint Jen Donovan as our new health director of the Mineral County Health Department. And we start her out July 1 at $28.
I will second that. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
And that's it?
He brought us presents. Maybe not.
Well, let's see. Long time ago, I used to do a lot of work with fuel mitigation with Bitterwood RC&D. We used to have some money. And all the things that they did, I thought, coincided with this thing that you put in the paper the other day, Title III Urban Interface Mitigation Coordinator. Well, I read it last night, and it disturbed me a little bit. I said, I did everything that on this requirement when I was doing fuel mitigation for the Bitterwood RC&D. They ran out of money, and so we didn't have any. They still don't have any. They think there's some coming, and they wanted to hire a person who had more time. So Lene, ex-Forest Service, FMO, is going to probably fill that position. They talked with her, and so she knows the people, so I've talked with her. So I just wanted to show you a few things to enlighten the commissioners. Okay?
So are you gonna get an application for our ad?
An application for which?
The ad that you just said?
No. I figured Bitterwood RC&D was polite and courteous and kind. They called me up and talked with me, and they said, we'd like somebody maybe there a little bit longer than you are, and this and this. And I said, that's fine. You get whoever you want, whatever. There. Well, Firewise community, there's one for each of you. Here's one
All
for
right.
you.
Well, we better give me one
Alberton.
more for my grandkids.
Alberton, Superior, St. Regis, we're all Firewise communities. That was one of the things that you had in here that you wanted to get some things Firewise. You have to work on that. You don't just change it overnight. There's 3 more for the commissioners. Here's a pamphlet on Firewise community. Ready, set, go. Every resident in Mineral County was hand-delivered that brochure a year ago. When we had the fires pretty bad and everything, we started at the west end, and everyone got it. It was either left on the door or handed to them. Here's was the last one we got later on, when it got dry. We had Smoky Bear. You have the Title III working, trying to do fuel mitigation also. That and what the Bitterwood RC&D on the money that I had, those two were entirely different here. We had a 50-50 grant, but then we got 75-25 because we had, Mineral County was bad off and they had a little extra money. So at the tail end, it only cost the landowner 25%, and we balanced out at 75%. I didn't know how you were going to, on this fuel mitigation advertisement here, I didn't know what you were figuring on in relation to landowners versus the county, or whoever does that. So, all I was saying, that everything you asked for on this, I did before when I was working with Bitterroot RC&D.
That's why I thought you were wanting an application.
Oh, well, no,
He
no.
said he doesn't have time, he told me he's gonna retire.
Yeah.
Lene is the one that the Bitterroot is looking at right now to look at that. She would be a good candidate to consider if she applies. She was with the Forest Service. She
You mean
knows-
for the Bitterroot's opening?
for the Bitterroot
I
RC&D.
thought you were referring to our opening.
No, for the Bitterroot RC&D. Those are two different things
Right.
entirely there, see?
And she may apply for ours, I already said.
Yes,
Can if she wants to.
okay. The only other two I seen was for that rewriting of the fire plan. That was the only other one I saw that in the last issue that they did. But that's all right. Yes, I knew you had one of, yes. Okay, I just wanted to alert you that we did have 3 Firewise communities, Alberton, Superior, St. Regis, Superior, Alberton, St. Regis, and we were working on the west end, getting that one. It takes a while to get that all squared away so that it took us about 3 years working together to get it all, to get it a Firewise. You ask it to be a display at the fair, they can have a display, but they will not be able to automatically become a Firewise community. Just be aware of what's happening on that. Okay, that's all. I just wanted to bring you up to date because it struck me kind of wrong here to think that maybe we hadn't done anything, but we had done something in years past.
Oh, yeah.
It stopped when Bitterroot ran out of money a year ago when we didn't have anything to continue.
We're a little late, but Dwayne's got to work tonight, so we'll try to hurry. Unless we got some hot ticket news to share, but Ms. Brown, are you done texting your boyfriend?
She's quilting.
Oh, yeah.
You guys. It's jury season. So questionnaires are coming in, excuses are coming in, getting ready to.
But not from me. I had mine right in on time, kind of.
We sent ours in. I delivered
Yeah, I
them.
think you
I
had
hand
delivered.
delivered them.
Ready and on time.
Kinda.
Yeah, that's what I said too, kind of.
He gave it to me just a minute ago.
It's only a couple weeks late.
Sheriff's still on vacation till Tuesday.
I told my wife that. That's what worried her.
No, actually till a week from Monday.
Oh, that's right. Oh, he would have had one more week.
All right. I just tell him I can't write. How was I supposed to fill it
We have a
out?
couple trials, one in August, 2 in September. We don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see. My civil things keep getting postponed down the road a little bit. Just keep in the can. And, that's it. Paper piled everywhere.
Well, because you're so tight-lipped and you won't tell us anything about these trials coming up, you're so secretive. Dwayne said he wants to be picked for every single jury so he knows what the hell's going on in the county. So keep that in mind.
That was,
It's random.
that was my wife that said that.
It's random.
Yeah,
He was-
they're open court. You can come and sit and observe
Oh, that's
when
true.
they're going.
That's
Yeah,
right, open to the public.
You want me to call you when we have court? You can come sit and watch.
That's what I want to do when I get retired. I just want to sit in court and watch cases.
Just sit and watch.
Yeah, we want to see that, what was that famous lawyer's name? I want to see that.
Clarence Darrow?
Huh?
Clarence Darrow, or are you talking about To Kill a Mockingbird?
Yeah, him too.
Oh, yeah.
We
And,
have a famous.
Matlock, that's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Ellen Matlock.
A fictional
I want to
famous.
see Ellen.
You must be younger than me because I was thinking Perry Mason.
Oh, Perry. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, Dwayne, and it had nothing to do with age.
I just couldn't think of the guy's name, so then the only one I can think of
that's
was Matlock.
right. Andy Griffith was Matlock. Yeah.
So you want to be there for first trial? Is so you want to watch.
Yeah. I want to see the girl from Butte in action. That's what I want to see.
Oh, brutal.
I see the little bulldog.
I bet she is too.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'll just browbeat them until they plead guilty.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, right, Roni.
We're still plugging along, still needing 2 dispatchers. We have a few applications. We're hoping to do some interviews next week, Casey. They already know about the other crap.
Is that the air conditioner? Is there something going on? Is the air conditioner's broken or something? No.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Oh, it's hot. Because
Yeah.
Brody was telling me that it's only like a year old.
So if they
No.
just,
One section is only like, it's not even a year old yet.
The one's archaic, other one's archaic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the one that's causing problems.
Oh, it's not really causing that much problem. It's getting a little warm, but people in the courthouse are warmer.
Oh, okay.
They've all
Oh.
got air conditioners in their offices.
Okay.
Some
All right.
have
I thought
two
that was
air
a problem. I was like,
conditioners
oh, if it's
in
only a year old.
Oh, so we're
Yeah, the one
not
in the
feeling sorry
dispatch
for
center
them.
is the one
They're
that's
not
less
really
than a year
hot.
old.
Okay.
The
I
other one
put
has
a
been there since it's
thermometer on the inside of the glass to monitor it.
And,
It's up
78?
to about 76, 78.
Oh
oh,
my God.
And you gotta remember, there's 10 98.6s in there,
yeah,
okay? Yeah, that draws
close
heat.
quarters, yeah.
People don't understand that. So I've been watching it all day yesterday, I've been watching it all day again between everything else I've been getting done. And it's just hot, and that
That's about
unit
it.
up on the roof has got a lot of square footage to take care of. All the duct is running through the ceiling,
Yep.
the rafters are hot, you know, the cinder block retains that heat.
Yeah.
It's just, it's
summertime.
It's hot, hot
yeah,
out.
it's hot,
Yeah.
man. It was 100 degrees in the shade at our house on the deck when I got home last night.
Yeah, I took a picture. Well, I probably shouldn't
So
say
it's
that. But I
hot.
took a picture driving by.
Yeah, you really
It went to
could
100.
crack an egg on a rock and cook it.
I
Dude,
did.
it's hot. It's hot.
It's hot.
So, Ronnie, I'm just curious, was there any extra demands on, how did you guys hold up over Mud Bog weekend, 4th of July weekend? Did everything go okay for you guys?
I think it went pretty well, actually. I was not out there doing a whole lot. I wasn't working
You never
for
heard
any of
any
that
issues
stuff.
or,
I did not hear any bad
We
issues or
didn't get
anything.
much coming through
Really?
Justice Court or anything.
Oh.
There was no
And how'd the
jail.
fire department do?
Over
With the
the-
fires and stuff?
I think they've been more busy this last week than they have.
Yeah.
yeah. I saw there was a fire on the frontage road by the airport, or by
Yeah, I
the
saw
meat
that
shop.
too. Yeah.
Fire was where this afternoon?
No, this afternoon I do not know, I'm just
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
past week though, you saw the burn spot between the interstate and the old highway.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah, do we know where the fire was today? I see the siren finally quit going.
Oh, no.
I wasn't in dispatch, so I didn't hear where it came in at. Yeah, a lot of them over the 4th, the fires were because of fireworks.
Mm.
And tried to explain that one. Can we shoot off fireworks? Well, as long as you're not on the national forest. Oh, good, we can do it. Where do you live? Quartz Loop. Like, so just remember that if you do shoot off fireworks and it starts your neighbor's place on fire, you are liable.
Mhm.
But we can still shoot fireworks off our property. Yes, you may shoot them off your property, but again.
Fire jumps off your land, yeah.
We had a fireworks,
Yeah, that's why I don't do fireworks. I sit on my deck and watch everybody else be stupid. Well, I guess they're not stupid, but I get to watch them off my deck.
And JW, I noticed your lawn staying nice and green in this heat. Saw you mowing the other
Well, I wish
day.
that's all I had to do.
Yeah.
I've had to order more baling wire and duct tape than you can believe. But it's working.
Huh?
Getting a good deal on the duct tape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've really only got one concern. I came to work this morning. I get here about 6, and first thing I do when I walk in the building is I walk the front door and shut the lights off, shut the outside lights, turn the inside lights on, and the front door was open. So
Oh.
These main ones down here?
upstairs.
The front
on
pillar.
The main front door.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
gonna say I was
so-
probably the last one to leave
No.
last night. But
You don't go out that way.
I didn't go out that way. Yeah, I was thinking you meant these double.
I
lights.
normally do, because I always check those doors, but I wasn't here yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, just the main thing is that anybody that has keys, anybody that has keys should always feel responsible enough to when they walk out that door to check those doors. Always, that is just, you know, I spent years in the grocery business, opening and closing grocery stores, and I'm really security minded. So when people who have keys go out the door, they should always be checking the doors. It should be an automatic.
Yeah.
Where you going out the front, whether you're going out here,
Yeah.
coming into the annex, when you're leaving, if you're down on the first floor, the lower level, and you go through that one door, just, it doesn't take but a second to
Pull
make sure
that
that
fire
door is
door.
locked.
Yeah. Yeah, I always stand there and wait for it to click. But now the key for the front to get in the main way, is that a separate key? It's the same one? Oh, good, okay. Because if I ever go, maybe I'll just try to go out the front from now on.
And now
Now,
the
all
back
the
doors
doors are locked, all the doors are locked at 5 o'clock, because I lock them.
Oh, can I push to get out the front?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can push to get out, but anybody with
But if
keys,
you-
it should just be a reflex, just to turn around and
Right.
make sure.
But
Yeah,
if
'cause
you're
I-
on the outside and you wanna get in, you unlock it, but you gotta turn your key back or it stays unlocked if you're going in.
Okay.
But when you're coming out, it should already be locked, and
Locked.
I do the same, check.
Just check it, okay. Because I was thinking, I'll just go out the front door now,
Yeah.
if I remember.
Not usually
Yeah.
go out the front door.
And then just,
Yeah, most everybody comes down this way and just goes out the side door here, because
I
everything
always-
stays locked.
I always go out the front because I'm always checking my lights. I always like the lights on, so I make sure the lights are off before I leave because I just feel responsible. That's what you get for griping sometimes.
other than that, there's just a lot of work, you know, there's a lot of work around here all the time. It's nonstop, just busy, busy, busy.
Well, good. I'm glad you're having time pass so quickly by each day.
I've spent,
does.
how many hours have I spent in the jail this week?
Quite a few.
You should behave yourself.
Yeah.
I've only been to jail one time, that's all it took.
You keep saying that.
She said I should behave myself.
All right, Mo, what's new in your office?
Not too much, plugging along. Did something come up with it now.
Something to do with the little notices in the mail for people's valuations and stuff, taxes. Are you getting calls out of
Oh,
that?
yeah, oh, yeah, and the water rights things, people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually running late and I'm gonna leave because I have a tax deed. Someone's coming in to file one of those today.
A tax deed?
Uh-huh.
Is that when they pay someone else's taxes?
Right, right, and it's at the end of the time.
Mhm.
Let them come back and pay their taxes.
Wow.
Does everybody have to file water rights on their house?
I don't know, I don't deal with that end of it, I don't know.
I do.
What was the
Well,
question?
we've gotten a lot of calls, yeah. So the legislature passed a bill
Yeah.
that by January, or by July 1st of this year, everybody had to, in the state, had to receive notice that if they had water uses for domestic or livestock purposes, pre-1973, for groundwater, and a different date for surface water, that if they wanted to file for a water right, they had a 2-year window to do it. You've got until June 30th of 2019 to file for those previously exempt water rights. So.
So what if you are, I mean,
Everybody in the state got a letter.
but what if you already had the water rights? I mean, I remember
Then you,
Phil.
yeah, then you don't need to, if you've already got it, there's a little, on that letter, it walks you through, if you had water use pre-1973, but because you were exempt at that time, after 73, you had to have the water rights secured. Now they get a chance for everybody that had those pre-existing ones that were not exempt, that's gonna go away. Now they've gotta, you work through the little question and answer, is it this, is it that? Then fill this form in and they'll send you information on securing your water right, basically, so.
Because I remember when Kathy Jasper first became clerk and recorder, she made sure that there was something going on with the legislature that year, and she made sure everybody that she knew.
Because we had to pay
Filed.
then
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
and it was like
yeah.
50 some odd dollars.
Yeah, it wasn't, I
That
see
was-
that one's like 135 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, that was when they closed the basin. So they closed the lower Clark Fork basin to new water rights. So if you had pending water rights
That's
or
right.
ones that weren't officially secured, they gave you that opportunity to secure them in that watershed only. So this bill is now going back, and there's still watersheds out there that never did that. So now they've just said, all right, everybody in the state, send them a letter, give them the opportunity, a 2-year window to secure their water right, or see if they need to secure their water right. And then after that, they'll close it.
So if you drill a well after 1973, you don't have to do anything?
Because your water right's probably already filed by the well driller at that time.
On the website, will it actually give you the information if you have or you haven't?
Yeah, you can, the website's pretty good. You can put in your name, you can put in your property location. I think you can even, they've probably even got a map now to where you can search it to your location. The last one I had, I downloaded the well logs for the entire county, and it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, I just go through and check on people that said they had, that'd be for groundwater rights. Surface water rights, I don't think are recorded on that one, but the new website has all that information. So yeah, you can check and you can see where you are as far as seniority on some of those water rights,
Yeah.
for surface water rights primarily, because groundwater doesn't matter. So, but yeah, there've been a lot of people that have been ringing our office up to
Yeah,
ask about that.
confusing.
It is confusing.
Yeah, and yeah, because they said send it to everybody, so people in cities are getting them and wondering if they have
Yeah,
to file it. And,
yeah,
you
they
know,
live in the
just-
city limits and they get it from mountain water or whatever.
Yeah, you just read the letter and follow the little steps, and if you're on a public water supply, throw the letter away or what have you. So
My dad was in the legislature back in the 70s, and that was one of the things he worked on was water rights. And I don't think everything ever happens.
it's a hairball, and every state's different too. So
Right.
they're crazy.
All right, so nothing else, huh, Mo?
No.
The Honorable Magone.
As everybody knows, Cindy's gone. She's in Texas now. We hired Brandy Taylor, and every time I see Ronnie, she kind of gives me this look like,
Did you steal one of Ronnie's?
Yes, he did.
I felt bad too.
Just
She gets
borrowed
work
her.
with me for a little bit too, though.
Yeah.
Don't do it
Is she
again.
gonna be working as dispatch?
Yeah,
Okay.
2 days a week.
Okay. I wonder, could that potentially be a conflict?
I don't think
Okay.
so.
I don't know.
She's gonna be a dispatcher, not a jailer.
Yeah, she's not
dispatcher.
answering.
Yeah, I just have to make sure she doesn't talk to you about anything, you know, like she takes a call and, oh yeah, this guy was acting up, or you can't hear anything before the case.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get to hear the facts. I don't want her
And
to,
I'll,
you know,
I'll talk
tell
to
you.
her
anything.
about that too.
Yeah,
'cause she'll be
that's,
here
oh,
tonight.
glad you said something, yeah, just in
Yeah.
case. Just, you know, she can't tell you any information about, that you wouldn't normally hear in court. None of the facts.
Right.
Okay,
Yep. Yeah, well, I'll talk to her about that too.
okay.
Is she just doing that until you fill that spot?
Oh, that's good, yeah, I don't wanna take that away from you.
I was asking Roman, I said, is it something that we could utilize, like, since we have 5 people for vacations and stuff like that, could we have her as part-time for that as well? And it's something to look at.
Yeah. And I have to ask the union if they can be like on a list and come in when, as needed, like, cause I don't know what the union would say, but.
Right now, they're okay with what she's doing.
Good.
You guys are pretty full, aren't you?
I think we have between 20 and 22.
Oh my gosh.
I know one of, a woman needed to do some time on a DUI, but
Yeah, we have no
yeah,
email room at all.
that's what she said.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are booked on women.
Are most of them, what's the breakdown, state versus county versus, which ones are paying?
Of course, the DOCs, and I want to say we're maybe 2/3 DOC.
Wow.
So that's,
I think
unless
there's-
that's changed, so I don't know.
Yeah, we looked at it this morning. I think there was like 8 DOCs. And one woman from here,
I think we have one female that is ours, and the rest are all DOCs. Males, we have probably maybe five or six.
Maybe you can have
that
that
are
gal
artists,
come
the rest
in
are all-
and just do it during the daytime, put the orange on and be a trustee, go around and help you feed the inmates.
We've had issues with that in the past.
Oh.
That's why we don't have any of
Have her mop the floor and then go home after 8 hours.
Yeah, so we got Brandy pretty much working on the jury questionnaires. We just mailed out the ones for Justice Court, because we didn't have any envelopes. We just got those in, so we're getting all the questionnaires back for Superior and Alberton. So she's pretty busy on doing all that and processing that. We're trying to get her set up on the computer right now. But it seems like that everybody in the state Supreme Court decided to go on vacation this week. So we're having trouble
Well,
contacting people.
They're up in Flathead, switching things over. So most of the trainers are just out in the field.
They're not playing.
Well,
I just assumed that.
yeah. That's what I say about all the judges in Missoula, when I can't get a hold of anybody.
Yeah. A lot of sentencing changes, so hopefully they'll get our bench books and everything updated. And Marcy's Law got put on hold.
Yeah.
Mako filed an injunction or whatever you call it. And they want judgment to void the law. So I don't know where that's going and what's going to happen there. But we're kind of proceeding as if it's in force. Surely Hiawatha is sitting in a lot of the initial appearances and hearings and what have you. If there's a victim or a restitution or anything involved. Collections, we're doing good on collections. In fact, I think we cut the biggest check to the county that we've ever cut.
Wow.
County only gets to keep half, but
Yeah, but still, that's good. Well, just yesterday, we had a person come in and she said, oh, we'll pay it all right now. And
yeah.
there's a stunned silence. We're all, what?
Well, we've kind of established a routine where people want us to pull them for collection so they can get their driver's license back. And so, yeah, you want to pay half of what's in collections, we'll pull it out and deal with it. In the past, it was like, yeah, okay, pull it out, and then they start paying $5 a month. And you know, nothing's ever gonna happen. So now it's just, okay, you pay half, we'll pull it out and work with you. So at least they've got some incentive. Citations are up. I think we're over 272 ahead of last year. So we're 1140 so far this year. Last year, at the end of the year, I don't think we were much ahead of that.
Is mostly work zone speed violations?
Yeah.
A lot of driving while suspended. Well, you see a lot where they just plead, I'm sure,
Yeah.
that I don't ever see, but.
Yeah, driving suspended, we see a lot of that. Taking that mandatory minimum jail time of 2 days away from driving suspended will probably stop a lot of that, though. Most people, I think, plead not guilty because they don't want to do the jail time. If they know there's no jail time, they probably just pay the fine. Yeah, most
But
of
that
us,
didn't get changed this year, did it? The legislature did not change that, did they?
yeah, the legislature did.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, that's not part of that House Bill 133.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, been a lot of, most of that increase in citations has been traffic and speeding and what have you. Had one guy that, I was telling Ellen yesterday, that he got caught for speeding in a work zone, doing 55 and 35, and the highway patrolman kind of cut him a deal that he just wrote it as a construction zone, so instead of 170, it was 85. Well, the guy still wasn't happy, he didn't pay the citation. We sent him a letter, he never responded. We sent him to collections and suspended his driver's license. Now he's calling up, it's all our fault, it's all the highway patrol's fault, and that we need to, if it was the responsible and moral thing to do would be to dismiss the citation, pull him from collection, do away with that fine, and pay for the reinstatement.
Is he a Montana, not a state?
No, he was New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
He figured that he'd just go back to New Hampshire and
That's
take care of
right, that's
itself.
what they, yeah.
but now he's all excited. And I told him, Kim, that, I don't know where he got that idea, it was moral and responsible.
Maybe that's the way they do it in New Hampshire.
What's that?
Maybe that's the way they do it.
Yeah,
in New
probably.
Live free or die, are they the live free or die state?
I don't know.
Maybe Washington State, when you get pulled over for a suspended driver's license, they impound your vehicle for 30 days. And you have to pay the impound fees before you can get it back.
Wow.
Where's that at?
Washington State.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're tough on DUIs too.
That's all I got.
Weed Warlock.
All right, all right.
Is that what that hat was, the warlock hat?
Well, she said they had a woman in with.
That's why I don't melt on the walk over here.
Yeah.
There you go.
We've been very busy. Of course, just down to two of us in there, and then if one of us is gone, it means that the other one's covering a lot of things. So Emily delivered the CDBG grant application for Superior Meats to Helena today. So she's over meeting with Department of Commerce and going through that with them. It's missing one part of it, but hopefully they'll accept it, and then the final EIS will be pending from Tim. So we'll know if it got accepted or not when she gets back on Monday. As Mary kind of alluded to, we've I don't know where someone gave me the idea to call the extension office, but yeah, we fielded last week, since those letters came out, we had fielded a lot of phone calls about the water rights thing. So I finally just brought my letter from home and keep it right there on my desk and read to them exactly what it says and walk them through the steps and assure them. Our as far as the weed district and weed work, we got a lot done on our state contracts and some of our county stuff before the weather turned hot. So now we're kind of in a waiting game, waiting for it to cool back down and then get back out and assess and hopefully be treating stuff up on the west end when it's generally a little bit cooler. Mike's been conducting some surveys and stuff where he can hand collect up on the Tansy Ragwort site up in St. Regis, and he said it was perfect timing because the plants were in bud, they hadn't actually bloomed yet, so he was hand pulling and clipping that site. But that's been an ongoing project since 1984, so we're still working on that one. Ellen will have some new letters and paperwork to hand off to you probably next week. The weed board is pressing forward with a weed non-compliance.
Okay.
So I was hoping to get that done yesterday and hoping to get that done this morning. And so hopefully Monday.
Believe me,
or
don't
Tuesday.
rush on my part.
Well, we want to get rushed to get it out there, get it in, because it's got that period. Extension wise, a lot of mouse, gopher, ground squirrel calls this year, and I've been out doing lots of instruction on how to properly set pocket gopher traps and whatnot for several different landowners, helping them with that process, and selling them traps in the meantime. And if they don't, they remember how to set them and don't get their fingers caught in them, they learn a pretty good lesson on trapping. Those of you that, well, I guess everybody will remember when Deloise Tyler worked in our office doing the SNAP Ed, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program education in the schools for Mineral and Sanders County. It's been Kathleen, 3 years, 4 years? Three-ish. She retired. They refilled the position, based it out of Sanders County, but it's been vacant for the last roughly year and a half or so. MSU just today sent around the position announcement. They're going to refill that position, or they're posting that position for refill. I sent a copy to Casey.
Good.
Sent one over to Barb Jasper at the Health Department. And then it's gonna be out in papers and on the statewide stuff. But it's a 3/4 FTE position, 30 hours a week. It will be housed out of Sandwich County, but it will cover Mineral County, so that person will be making trips down here and presenting the nutrition programs in the schools, as well as adult, opportunities for adult education. So there's, the county doesn't really have any responsibilities as far as funding or providing funds for it. We just provide a space for that person to come in and, you know, set up a desk and make phone calls or get emails or store some of their materials so they don't have to cart them back and forth if necessary. But Sandwich County has pretty much taken the majority of the lead on the financial support for that. So, and then the rest of it's grant funded. So they'll be beginning screening the applications the end of July here, and they're keeping the position open until they have a sufficient pool from which to choose. So, and fair is less than a month away. So it's been busy getting everything ramped up on our end. Haven't been able to make the last couple fair board meetings, so I don't know how they keep scheduling it on top of commitments I've already got. So but as far as I know, they're getting ramped up for it. Lions Club is doing a lot of work, and our 4-H volunteers are chomping at the bit to get in there and get some work done on the fairgrounds. So we'll be starting that. Worst part, I think, for the livestock kids is when we get these hot periods, because that's real hard on the livestock. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that affects their overall quality. And I think that's pretty much it. Although I should say, if you got a place you want to store some more inmates, Joel, we got that old coal chute or coal room off the burner down there, or the boiler room. That's nice and cool.
Get some
They
old
wouldn't
meat-
complain.
get some old meat locker hooks and put them out in the shop out there.
At least I one in the basement we could lock that.
That's really inexpensive.
Good deterrent.
Good deterrent.
Probably not very nice.
All right, the Butte girls' turn.
Yeah, same thing with Marcy's Law. My concern is that, we've been approved for money from the Board of Crime Control, so we can make Shirley full-time so that she can help all victims of crime. But since Marcy's Law is put on hold, every day I'm waiting for a letter from the Board of Crime Control saying, we're holding off on that money because it was specifically designated for the added responsibilities. But so far, not yet. So as of July 1, I told Shirley half your time is OVW, half your time is MBCC. So.
But there's still enough, even without.
Oh my
Marcy's
gosh!
Law.
Oh, I think we need it more. I mean, I need help with the people who. I just charged a guy in Alberton for crashing into 3 cars. So I need somebody to help me figure out, or to take over restitution, all that kind of stuff. The guy who didn't show up this car. So yeah. So I'm hoping that's gonna work out. But other than that, same old, same old. Plugging away.
I have another thing to add. I just had a customer that bought a $300,000 car, over $1,200 for taxes.
Wait a minute. Start again.
Austin Martin?
He spent $300,000.
Cash.
Okay.
And it was about $1,200 in taxes, so that helps our bottom line a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
was like, holy cow.
I'm glad he lives in Mineral and not in Missoula.
Yeah, I've seen him on TV.
Now watch, you'll find out he actually lives in Petty Creek, and they had an Alberton address.
Or I thought for sure he lived out of state because they did that a lot in Anaconda, and Fergus
Yeah,
County.
they do that. They do that a lot for the taxes. But he actually has property here in Mineral County.
Wow.
And living here, driving that car on a dirt road, I was like, "You're kidding me."
Wow.
All the mechanics in town are going to be like,
Yes.
tire guys are going to be stocking. and
Yes.
special
Oh my
things.
gosh. Oh wow, that's great. Yeah, I just figured it was an out-of-stater. Yeah.
No, he has been, but he owns property here in
Yeah,
town.
that's
Getting
good.
more than
Good.
stuff.
Good.
Well,
I'll have to bake them a butt cake and
Yeah.
go over and say hello. I don't know, just being neighborly.
well, on our end, let's see, well, we'll be working on the budgets actually starting July 14.
Okay.
And then we have this Title III money that's really restricted, new Title III money, $350,000. So we're advertising for a coordinator to get, what it is for people, and maybe Kathleen, I don't know where you live, but if you have a home with a bunch of trees around your house up to 200 feet from a structure, that would be your garage, your shop, or your house, then there's this money to help clear away dying trees, live trees, whatever are going to be a hazard if they're going to burn your house down. So this money can be spent, so we're going to hire a project coordinator who will oversee, make sure that, it's the house qualifies, the trees qualify, and then there will be money where contractors, or if your husband wanted to do it, he would get reimbursed for the labor and the time, or you can have a logger or a contractor do it. But it's kind of a good deal for landowners to make their home fire-wise safe. But so the money's there for that, and also to pay for a coordinator, and we're just going to have probably the coordinator get $150 per project that they submit and oversee, and then the loggers will go do. So anyway, a bunch of people were worried that they wanted to get this thing going and not just wait for a coordinator. So I went out and initially approved 10 just to get them kind of going so things can get in the works. And then when the coordinator comes on board, they'll take the ones that I signed off on and include them in their file and monitor and oversee them. But the long and the short where this big long story is going is that one of the guys I inspected the home, he wanted to show me in his shop a really nice wooden desk. If anyone needs it, Casey I think was sent a photo, but it's solid wood, and the guy just wants to give it away to a good home. So if anyone needs a good solid wood desk, but there's one in St. Regis, so all we gotta do is go pick it up.
They don't deliver.
Well, no, I mean he could be charging us, but
And how did it go in doing the 10 inspections? Was that yesterday?
yeah.
And how'd it go? Did it go all right?
Yeah, and they're broken down pretty nicely. They have, I asked Stacy Neal kind of help, because she'd kind of been soliciting the calls from the mill. So I asked her to insert in the application too, so it breaks down, saw time, dozer time, wood chipper time, hand piling time. So there are a lot of, you can actually see, and then you can kind of take the application of what you're looking at and see if it fits the parameters. And some of the bids are as low as $2,800 because they don't have a whole lot to do, and some are up to $5,500 because they got a bunch of trees. But anyway, now that the way it's set up, it's pretty good. In fact, Dwayne's going to go look at one this afternoon in St. Regis. But
My own yard. No, just kidding. Strike that.
Now, do you have to do this within a certain time
So
period?
the money has to be obligated by
September 30th.
Yeah.
This September. Just
So if the money's obligated, then it's fine. We
Yeah.
have the time in the world to get it spent. But
And I'm glad you said the outbuildings and garages. I kept saying house when we were in
Yeah.
the meeting, but it is structure, so I'm glad you said
yeah,
that. So.
not your little funny pretend-looking barn where you park your lawnmower, but a structure.
Yeah, and I just kept
And-
saying
It's
house.
a structure.
And so far, there's 40 projects submitted already, and the sum total of that is 124,000. So we still can accept more
Yeah.
because we have 350,000. So.
And it was interesting. I mean, there was a woman here who was talking about she's had 2 trees fall in her house and she can't get homeowners insurance anymore.
Mhm.
So you're thinking this is exactly,
Mhm.
this hopefully could be a
Yeah, and
godsend
she's
for
elderly.
her.
She can't fall
Oh,
the
yeah.
trees.
Her husband
And a lot of them are
passed
leaning.
away.
And that's another thing. Is some of the contractors have a bucket truck because some homes are, like one I looked at yesterday was that gal's, and the trees are all leaning for whatever reason, or the wind or whatever is making them all lean towards their house. Bucket truck will probably be helpful to make sure that they're pulling the tree the right way. Another guy's house had his well right there and his power line and his house. So I mean, there's different dynamics to certain homes that requires more equipment or labor, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing if we can.
That's all I can think of. Dwayne, you think? Oh, we met.
Chief Forte,
Yeah.
Oh,
Great
yes.
Chief Forte came down to Tricon. What day was that?
Monday.
Monday, yeah. Got it all blurs together, especially when you throw a holiday in the middle.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he came down and we had a real good chat with him. And, one of the things that's always interested me about him is not only is he a smart businessman, obviously, but his running mate when he ran for governor was Leslie Robinson, who's been a county commissioner for 12 years. And now he's made her his chief of staff in his new position. So she's with him, and she's served on NACO's federal lands committee for 8 of those 12 years that she's been. So she knows the ropes back in Washington and here both, and her family owns a ranch in Phillips County over in eastern Montana, and they make their living off of government ground just like we make our living off of government ground here. And so I think we're in pretty darn good hands there too. It's going to take time, just like everything does back there when you say Washington D.C. Nothing happens overnight.
Yeah, he had he has a pretty good grasp and understands our issues real well with the Forest Service and the lack of work on the forest or the lack of balanced recreation. So that's good. Dwayne's an old wrestler, so he calls him Grappling Greg. So.
I heard he rumbles pretty well too.
Yeah.
I can
But-
forget about that.
Yeah.
That's about all I
Yeah.
think I got.
I always learn something good when I come. I have a lot of good information. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys for showing up today and giving us your input.